Hi there, it's Bruce Millington, Tom Park, Paul Keeley and Paddy Powers. Frank Hickey looking ahead to day 2 of this fantastic Dublin Racing Festival. Takes place at Leopardstown on Sunday. 8 races, chock-a-block with quality. Cannot wait for this. We'll start our look at Sunday with the 1:15. It's the Juvenile Hurdle, the Tattersalls Island Spring Juvenile Hurdle. And Frank, take it away with a show of betting.
Yeah, Esport Dallins 8 to 11, Far Class 5 to 2, Mr. Adjudicator 5 to 1, Pachuca 16 to 1, and we're 50s bar.
Frank, first of all, is the Triumph Hurdle winner running in this race?
I wouldn't say no. I think Esport Dallins very good, and I think Far Class will run a lot better even than he did at Leopardstown. He's going to come on an awful lot. I wouldn't rule either of them out.
Is this a betting race?
Yes, I would be having a bet on Far Class at the prices. Yeah, the vibes are strong enough that he's very, very good juvenile. He ran a very eye-catching race at Christmas on his first run. Now, a bit of a messy race. They were all in a heap turning in, and Esport Dallins did it nicely enough, but I'd be expecting Far Class to step up a fair bit for that run, and I'll be surprised there's much between the two of them on Sunday, and I think Far Class might actually beat him.
Tom, what's your view?
I think Esport Dallins a certainty, to be honest. I think he's done things very easily. No Stormy Island in the race. I can't see what there is to beat him. I know Far Class will probably come on for that run. It was, as Frank said, an eye-catching performance, but I can't see him beating the favourite.
What about you, Keels?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously Far Class, he's only run once. Esport Dallins had loads of experience. He could improve, but he did look good. I mean, the interesting thing for me is what happens if Esport Dallins does win really easily. Does JP McManus run both his best juveniles in the Triumph Hurdle? Because obviously Apple Shakira has a mare's option now, and she's been favourite all year, but that would drive any post punters mad, I suppose. But it cannot be ruled out, can it?
Well, he has Count Easter for that mare's race as well, Paul. I think if she wins very well tomorrow at Sandown, that might.
He has what? Sorry, say again.
Count Easter, the one that's running at Sandown tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm sure he has that. Yeah, but that so far has an awful lot to prove, doesn't it? And obviously, Esport Dallins, where does that go? Does that go in the Supreme, or do they just run against each other?
They'll run against each other. And
Binocular ran in the Supreme years ago against Captain Seaby instead.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, they sometimes do, don't they? Yeah.
I think that was ground related too, though, wasn't it? In that the forecast was bad for the end of the week that year, and Binocular needed better ground.
Yeah.
If they keep them two apart, then they won't be winning the Triumph, because Apple Shakira's got no chance.
Of course she's got a chance. You're one of these people. I don't get this opposition to Apple Shakira. What do you think, Keels?
I don't think she's done anything anywhere near enough to justify the prices she's been all the way through. That doesn't mean she can't win. I just think the bookies went overboard straight away. And it's one, that race the other day was the slowest time on the card. She had to work to win. I'm just not convinced. I mean, she's by the same sire as Bristol de Mai. She's only ever run on soft ground. What's she going to be like on a Friday at Cheltenham if it's good ground? We don't know, do we? I mean, to me, she's just been shorter than she should have been at every stage, but it doesn't mean that she won't win.
Okay, that's for another day. Let's focus again on what's happening this weekend. 1:50 at Leopardstown on Sunday. It's the Deloitte Novices Hurdle. It's a Grade 1, and we might have the second coming running here. Sam Crow, and he's up against the favourite for the Supreme in Sharjah. What a race this is going to be. How did Paddy Power bet, Frank?
Yeah, Sam Crow's 4 to 7, Sharjah's 3 to 1, Boucher 10 to 1, Paloma Blue, Duke de Genevieve, and Le Richburger 20 to 1, along with Real Steel, and we're 25 to 1 bar.
Kills, what do you make of this one? Sam Crow really could be special, couldn't he?
Well, he could be. Well, I mean, I suppose Gordon Elliott, they call it a googly. He's bowled a massive googly by running him here. Because, Sharjah was even money, even odds on in places earlier in the week. Everyone expected Sam Crow to be going up in trip because he won so easily over 2 mile 4. And what is Gordon Elliott's plan? Does he run Sam Crow in the Supreme? It's a strange one. One thing we do know is that when he gets to Cheltenham, he will actually really have been tested, because this is a really strong race. And a lot of the time you get some short-priced horses from Ireland, and they have the same profile. They win one big field maiden hurdle in which half the field is so useless they'll never win a race. Another half are non-triers waiting for handicap. And then they run in small fields all the time. But this is really, really competitive. I thought Sharjah looked really, really good last time until obviously falling. and I would back him at 7-2. I can see Sam Crow being an absolute superstar, but he's got to prove it. And at the moment, he doesn't have form any better, so I'll go at a bigger price.
Looking forward to this one, Tom?
Very much so. A lot of answers there'll be a lot of answers from this race anyway. I agree with Keels. I think that I think Sharjah's a big prize, to be honest. I think Sam Crow's obviously a talking horse, but we don't really know what he's beaten. So I like Sharjah, and he jumped really well until he fell at the last time. So that wouldn't worry me.
You just think at the prices, he's the value, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, this horse they were talking about run over 2 mile 6. So dropping it back to 2 mile, you can look at it two ways. They obviously think he's very good, but he's yet to prove, like, Sharjah's that form. If Sharjah had gone on to win that Grade 1 the other day, he's a Grade 1 winner going up against it. I just think 7-2.
I think the prices are wrong. What's your view, Frank?
He is the second coming. This is going to absolutely that up. He beat Mind's Eye at Punchestown in October. Mind's Eye is rated 133 and is about the 4th fav for the Carl Hurdle. He beat him 15 lengths on the bridle. Like, I'm disgusted he's running here because I actually fancied one to beat Sharjah against it, but Sam Crow will win. But I wouldn't be surprised if Debouché ran a massive race. He obviously the bumper form last year, he was second in the champion bumper, looked all over the winner. He turned in and kicked, only for Fiona to absolutely fly home and nab him in the last 50 yards. But I could see him running a massive race, and 33-1 non-run, no bet in the Supreme, provided Sam Crow doesn't turn up in that race, would appeal to me. I actually went in and backed it on Monday, but Sam Crow is a machine. He's, like, I've heard of different reports from different people, and from what you see, this is just, he's going to hack up here and he'll win at Cheltenham. He reminds me of Faheen. That's what he reminds me of. But I think they're going to go down the Gold Cup route long term with him. But I think he could win over any trip, and yeah, he's just a superstar.
Okay, I'm going to jam the 225 into the running order. It's the Handicap. It's meant to be a competitive race, Handicap hurdle, but of course Total Recall, going back over the smaller obstacles, is 5-4 favourite, Frank, and been money for him all week, hasn't there?
Yeah, do you want the prices?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, just give me 1 second there. You've cut and hop. But Total Recall is now 5-4. I think we put him in 4-1 initially, and it's just been, I think a lot of people are looking at this as the horse to pay for the weekend, where they're just steaming into him. He's now 5-4. I know Lee Mahler was talking about him earlier in the weekend. I saw Johnny Ward mention him, so I think everyone's on him. But the only thing I would say is what he is thrown in relative to his chase form. I do think there's a couple in here that interest me. I can see him going off 4-5 or something, but I'm going to take a chance on a Great View at 8-1 each way. He was a massive eye catcher at Leopardstown at Christmas in the Pretemps qualifier. He must have been, I'd say, 20 lengths off, maybe just coming out of the back and turning into the straight, and he very nearly caught mine now. He was very unlucky. I think he got a couple of pounds for that, not too much. I'd be hoping he'll run well enough. If he could run in a couple of lengths of Total Recall and get up the weights to be one for the Pretemps at the festival itself. But I think he's an each way price for 8-1. I wouldn't put you off having a few quid each way, and even to have a look at the without market as well.
Okay.
I think.
Kills, do you think Total Recall will just hack up? Sometimes with these horses, when they're so well in, kind of in my head, I can think of quite a few of them that actually don't get the job done.
Yeah, I'm
don't
sure
ask me to name them.
over the years. Yeah, no, exactly. I was going to gloss over that myself. But yeah, I'm sure there's been plenty that haven't. But he is £31 lower than his current chase mark, which is a huge amount. But he's still got to do it over hurdles. And like Frank said, I actually tipped a Great View against him in the weekend or earlier in the week. I'd actually backed the tip when he just got beat at Leopardstown last time, and he did come from miles off it. There was a couple of sloppy jumps midway down the back that just sort of slowed him a bit, but he absolutely flew up the inside. Trainers put first-time chief pieces on, and like I said, he has qualified for the Pretemps final, because that race was a Pretemps qualifier, but he's only rated 131 in Ireland, and even if the British handicapper puts him up a little bit, he still won't get in unless he runs really well. I think he's an equal bet for nothing.
Two shouts for a great view to take on Total Recall. What do you think, Tom?
Total Recalls, it's a steering job, surely. I mean, £31 well in, it's just ridiculous. I mean, this is a horse who is an outsider.
No, it's not £31 well in. He's just £31 lower.
£30 lower, yeah. £30 well lower, yeah. I mean, he could be a player in the Gold Cup come March, and he's running off 120 something.
Okay.
The way that he jumps his fences, I think he'd be just as effective over hurdles, and yeah, I think he's a steering job.
Okay, more competitive Grade 1 comes up at 3 o'clock. It's the Flogas Novice Chase. Frank, take us through the prices.
Yeah, this is a brilliant race. Sutton Place, our favourite at the moment at 5-2. Invitation only 130. Mona Lisa 7-2. Alboom Photo 5-1. Snow Falcon 12-1. Rathbinden 16-1. And we're 20-1 bar.
Quality and quantity, very competitive. And Frank, since you're so enthusiastic about it, you can go first. Who wins?
Yeah, I'd be willing to take on Mona Lisa anyway on the back of the fall the last. He got a bit of a kicking. I think I read something that he got a bad cut as well. Sutton Place is a very talented horse, and he gets his ground. I think he'll be difficult to beat. But I might just take a chance on Invitation Only. I think the two Willie Mullins ones are very interesting. Invitation Only, they initially said that he might skip this and just go straight to Cheltenham, but they've come here perhaps trying to claw back. Willie's trying to claw back a bit of the deficit to Gordon in the Trainers' Championship, but he was impressive in the Grade 3. The Kildare Novice Chase at Punchestown last night, beating Koshari and the Storyteller, and he'd beaten any second now handily enough at Navan the time before. He's had a bit of reputation, disappointed, but he's starting to get it together, and I'd give him a shout to win that Flogas. I think he's got a good.
Okay, Frank's going for Invitation Only. Parky, who are you going for?
I like Sutton Place. I think he's just a monster of a horse. I've backed him to win any race at the festival, but I'm a bit worried about whether he needs soft ground. But I think he'll get his ground at the weekend. Like Frank said, I'd worry a bit about Mona Lisa after the back of his last run. Invitation Only is a good horse. I just think Sutton Place I think he's a real monster. I like him.
Kills, who do you like?
Well, so many horses in here that I do like, and that's the problem. It's probably one of the best races of the whole weekend. I will take a chance, not because I think he's the best horse, but just because I think there's a bit of value. I'll take a chance each way on Snow Falcon. I think he's been progressing well enough. He's obviously a decent horse over hurdles, and on the flat. And he won very, very easily last time. Was third in the Grade 1 at Fairyhouse in December. He might not have the class of a Mona Lisa or a Sutton Place, but they've got to get round, haven't they? 14-1.
Righty-ho. Now, basically, we could all go home after the Flogas and we'd all have said what a fantastic weekend that was. But there is more. 3:35, the highlight of the whole weekend. It's the Unibet Irish Gold Cup. And Frank, when you read out the prices, we will know exactly the sort of quality we're dealing with. This is an absolutely brilliant race. Go on, Frank.
Yeah, Archduke is 11-4. Annabelle Fly 9-2. Kilunta-Vic 5-1. Outlander 6-1. Jack Adams 7-1. Manila Rocco 8-1. Valser Lido 9-1. Malabeach is 14-1, and we're 33 bar.
Kills, I was trying to work out who you're going to tip, and I can't. Who is it? I'm normally sort of half a chance, but go on.
Yeah, I was struggling myself here. I mean, I was a big fan of Archduke last year, but he ran so badly on his return. He's got something to answer. He's favourite. One of the second favourites, Kilunta-Vic, who is just a shocking price for a horse having his first chase for 2 years and who only won a Mickey Mouse hurdle race and needs to be £20-25 better than he was at Punchestown last month. I mean, that he's got to come on a hell of a lot. Outlander was one that tickled me a bit because he does go really well here, but I think I'm going to say Manella Rocco. I don't think the ground to be that bad. He's coming into form. He will be a player at Cheltenham if they get a strong pace. There's a big enough field here for you to think they might go strong enough, and he's a double figure price.
Okay, Tom.
I'd love to see Kilunta-Vic win, but like Keels said, I mean, he's got a lot of questions to answer. It's interesting, Paul Townend picked him over Jack Adams. I mean, Jack Adams in pool, but he clearly must have some talent about him. But whether I'd be backing him at 5-1, did you say? I can't have that. I think.
Well, I mean, he'd be getting a stone off Archduke if it was a handicap, wouldn't he?
Yeah. I think Outlander's an underrated horse, to be honest. He's got good form around here. When he's right, he's a good horse, and I think he's a good each way player in this actually.
And Frank.
Yeah, if you want one to hit the frame. Outlander's your horse. His record at Leopardstown is class. I think he's had 4 wins and a third there at Christmas in the Lexus. But I know the lads are crabbing the price on Kilolta Vic, but this fella has an engine. Like if you go back to his novice hurdle form, he beat Thistlecrack when Thistlecrack was probably at his peak or getting to his peak anyway. He's had a time off. Now, what I find very interesting is this horse was sent to Colin McBratney at the start of the season with a view to going hunter chasing. And after about, I'd say, 6 weeks or something like that, he was sent back to Willie Mullins. So he obviously was showing something at home that he was far too good for hunter chasing. I know, I'd say maybe about 15 months ago, he was my fancy for last year's Gold Cup. You're taking a lot on trust. He's a lot to prove, but I do think if this horse, if his ability remains, he's a tool. And this, while it looks really strong, like you have our Duke where he has a lot to find. He has his own issues as well. And even then, like Jack Adam was disappointing the last time. And if you take the two of them out of it, Outlander is the one he needs to beat, who's solid, but he's not. It's not an insurmountable level he needs to hit. I'd take a flyer on him. I think he could develop into a lively outsider for the Gold Cup.
It's funny, isn't it? Our tool can be used as a compliment and an insult. Frank, very quickly, I want you to give me all the other Leopardstown winners on the Sunday card, including race times.
I thought the 440, the bumper, Colreevy would probably take a fair bit of beating. She was smashed in the betting first time out. I think it was at a Fairy House. I think she's very short. I think we're 4 to 5, but she'll be the one to beat there. To be honest, the handicap chase, it's interesting. Hell's Kitchen comes over for Harry Fry, one of the few English runners. He's very impressive at Kempton at Christmas. The second, Mr. Whitter, came out and won at Cheltenham last week. He's off 143. Now, that's a perfect mark for the novices handicap at Cheltenham. Now, maybe they're going to aim a little bit higher. Has he entries in? He has no entry, I don't think, in the JLT. So perhaps they're going to go for this. But yeah, I've no real strong fancy in that handicap chase, even though it's a cracker. Maybe the Benno down the bottom. He's 13, and there's plenty of ones more progressive. But he won really nicely at Limerick over Christmas, and the yard would be good punter, shall we say. Yeah, he might still be on a handy enough mark of 127. He's off 9 stone 13.
Okay, Kills, I want you to take me through the Musselburgh card because there's some decent horses up there, isn't there? Hendo's lorries away. Oh, have you got anything at Leopardstown?
Well, it's just in that handicap. I mean, that Hell's Kitchen form is very, very good because Mr. Whittaker didn't just win the other day. He pulled miles clear with another horse that I thought was well handicapped. So I think 6 to 1 is very, very fair. But anyway, we go to Musselburgh. We got the Triumph Hurdle time. We Have a Dream, who will almost certainly be odds on. I would definitely interested in giving Active Valor another chance. I don't know what, he was beaten 63 lengths by We Have a Dream last time, but there was just something wrong with him that day. And he very comfortably beat Look My Way the time before. And Look My Way was the one that was second and made bustled Apples Shapiro up for a little while last week. So that would interest me. That's the 125. The Claim and Taken Forgan is favourite for the Supreme Trial at 2 o'clock. He's got the best form. He'd probably win. I don't think he's anywhere near as good as some of the Irish horses, but that might not make any difference in that race.
And also, Kills, Hendo's got Mr. Whipped in the 235. Would you like to have seen some of these horses reroute to Leopardstown rather than going up to
Oh, God, yeah, of course you would. But I mean, that's, the problem is we have so many soft races, don't we?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can't blame Musselburgh. They're putting on a really good card with great money.
I mean, to be honest, when they're novices, it's all about learning, and they're entitled to have a bit of experience first. But when you've got grade ones going begging so that Bouvedere can run at 1 to 12 in a free runner race, and pick up 20 grand for literally barely coming out of a walk, that sort of thing just annoys me.
Okay, chaps. Anything else I should back anywhere? Frank Hickey.
No, I have nothing else for Sunday.
Okay, all present and correct. We're all done, are we, Kills?
Yeah, I think so, mate.
Lovely stuff. Right, weekend plans. So, Tom, 27th birthday. What's the missus got lined up for you?
Well, she's working tomorrow morning, but I'll be sat watching the racing, and we'll probably go out for a nice meal, I think, tomorrow night. And,
lovely stuff.
Going to Barcelona next week. So,
Barcelona next week. Very nice indeed. Kills, what are you doing this weekend?
Well, I think I've booked a slot on the couch for the whole weekend, to be honest, mate.
It's going to be great, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's going to be absolutely superb. Well, good luck with that. What price are you to win this weekend?
Oh, long odds again.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's too too much to play on, isn't there?
And Frank, which day are you going to be pulling on your tweed cap and getting down to Leopardstown?
I'm heading up Sunday. It's actually our wedding anniversary this weekend, so I have to kind of take Jill out Saturday. We're going to the Westbury in Dublin, staying the night for dinner, and then I'm heading up to Leopardstown Sunday, so can't wait for that.
God, that's been a quick year, hasn't it, Frank? Has it flown by for you?
Time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it?
It absolutely does, mate. Good. Well, congratulations to you and Jill for that. Happy birthday to Tom. Keels, good luck with your bets. We've got another anti-post Cheltenham Postcast on Tuesday. Join us for that. We're also back on Monday to look back on this fantastic weekend, looking ahead to next week. So do join us for that. Don't forget, if you enjoy the Postcast, do please rate, review and subscribe on iTunes.
Check out Paddy's Rewards Club. Place 5 bets of £10 or more across any sport in a week and get a £10 free bet the next week. Paddy Power, you beauty! Max £10 bonus per person per week. Excludes shop bets. Selected odds. Conditions and exclusions apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.